The one thing most people regret in their old age. I spent most part of my first 2 decades as a sickly boy. I suffered terrible rheumatism and there was a medical prophecy that I would die before age 18. The prophecy I honestly wished happened, but it didn't. As you can guess that I'm older than 18. Instead of me dying at 18, after my 18th birthday, I became abnormal. No, not in a negative way. Instead, I started seeing life and death from a very different angle. While most people see risk as something that could hurt or kill them, I started seeing tough things and risky things as normal things because I no longer have much fear about death like most people do. Since I had gone through terrible health challenges and faced death many times in my first 17 years. I'll come back to this story and also share with you what I think is the single thing most people regret in life. Now, if you're new here, consider subscribing so you won't miss other interesting videos like this. Here's the thing. The single thing most people regret in their old age is not taking enough risk when they were young. Look around you and you see millions of adults. All these adults have lofty dreams. They wish they could dare life, pursue a new path and change the world. They want to live not just for money, but a significant purpose. But at the same time, right between them and their vision is a big and life-threatening mountain. What most people do is very simple. Avoid the mountains. Live all your life in the valley. Don't try difficult things. Don't hurt yourself. Don't put your health at risk. Don't let your family suffer. From age 20 to 65, the default setting of most adults' brain is take it easy. However, when these people get to 65 or 70 and look back at their life, something becomes very clear, and that is those mountains they avoided were not as high as they thought it was. The second thing these people discover is that failure isn't a bad thing after all. Remember the words of Mark Twain. Mark Twain said, 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. It doesn't matter the mountains you climb and fall from. At the long run, the most memorable pains of your life will be about the mountains you avoid. If you doubt the wisdom in these words, wait a second and I'll prove it to you. Take a moment to look back at your life in the last 1 decade. Remember those difficult moments you had. What can you see? First, when you were expecting those moments, you actually thought that it will be your end, or you thought that your world will crash if such things happen, right? It may be that tough exam, an accident, a divorce, or a business failure. But what happened after what you feared most actually happened? 2 things. First, you discovered that it wasn't as half as terrible as you thought it will be. So you have actually gone through more suffering anticipating a woe than what you suffered when the worst happened. The second thing you'll notice is that you are actually far more powerful than you think. Let me tell you my personal story. After recovering from rheumatism at age 17, I suddenly stopped giving attention to any fear because I felt that I've gone through one of the worst situations any child can go through. And if I could survive such as a child, I can survive any other thing as an adult. And if the worst happens and I die, I still won't lose anything. After all, I've expected death all my childhood years. With this mindset, nobody could caution me from pursuing my dreams. I went into the business world without money. I had something less than $100 and was determined to build a business or die trying. Today, when I look back at terrible things I've been through, especially in my first 8 years in the business world, I wonder if that was me. Here's the truth. You are 10 times more powerful than you can ever imagine. You can go through life's difficulties and still come out strong. You can pursue your dreams and achieve them. Yes, you'll fail. Of course you'll fail. Yes, you'll be wounded, but you'll come out stronger and smarter. No regret for actors. When I decided to build my own company, my only brother warned me. He thought I would end my life in poverty, regret, or even death. I agreed with him on 2 of these. Yes, I could end my life in poverty. Yes, I could die. But one thing I was sure can never happen to me is regret. You see, actors don't regret. You can know a soldier who dies in the battle. You can know a soldier who returned from the battle without a leg or an arm. But true fighters don't cry because they are heroes. Don't be deceived. When you are 70, your failures at 20s and 30s will not matter at all. The falls you experienced while trying to climb big mountains won't matter. The only thing that will matter and give you regrets are those mountains you avoided. Maya Angelou said, "Courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently." If after pursuing my dream as an entrepreneur, I died as a hero, and I'll forever be proud of myself in the next world. If I ended up as a poor man, I would wake up every day with a smile because I had done what most people only dreamed of doing. But I didn't die nor end up poor. Instead, today I make more money than most people I know, while I work less than all of them. I have the freedom to work at any time I want, with anyone I wish, for as long as I enjoy it. For me, it's heaven right here on earth. You have a single life. When I look at most young people, my heart cries. I cry because I know that these people don't know the nature of the world they are in. Let me tell you exactly what it is. It's a place of no reverse. You can look back and reverse while driving. You cannot reverse in the journey of life. You don't have a long period. You don't have years. You don't even have hours. You only have seconds. I mean, a few seconds. If you live till 70, that's just 2.2 billion seconds. Half of these seconds you'll either be sleeping or resting, so you can't count them as productive periods, right? Now, you'll spend another quarter of that preparing for school, work or church, reading content online, chatting on social media and watching YouTube videos. What you have left is about 500 million seconds, and every single one you waste is gone forever. If you understand that your life is terribly short, you will worry less about failures and what people will say. See your life as an emergency trip through planet Earth, because it is. If you want to live a meaningful life, you have to go through a lot of things, many of which will be tough. Because there are so many things you have to do, you can't afford to wait and worry. Your life is urgent. It's short. It's an emergency trip. You have to be fast and brave. You have to dare mountains and believe that you can conquer them. You have to neglect those who seek to calm you down, tell you to take it easy, because nobody calms down during an emergency. Everyone runs and acts when the time is short, and so must you in your short life. Here's my final note. Most of your mates will look back when they are 70 and regret that they allowed fear to stop them from daring life. Try as much as you can to live a life that's worthy of living. That's a life that's bold and courageous, a life that's dedicated to a cause and determined to go through hell and death to make the world a better place. You have a few seconds to live. Don't allow fear to destroy it. Thank you very much for watching our videos. We'd like to give you another interesting video for you to enjoy next. But before then, our team will be very happy if you can like this video and share it with your friends on social media. Now, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss other interesting videos like this. Look at your screen now to see 2 other videos we handpicked for you to enjoy next. We love you.